on, babies.
This is a salmon shirt. Salmon shirt.
He knew it right off the fucking. Didn't even give a thanks, Irene. He knew exactly what he was walking himself into.
Okay.
Vacation.
Queen Peach over here is getting loose already. Bill, I don't remember what you guys sent for. Oh, I know what Bill's is. I don't know what Ray's opening take is. So, Bill, why don't you start us off with the Simple Mind Sports Show opening takes? Why don't you give us your opening take to start us off for Friday headlines?
Perfect. Just when I thought the Red Sox ownership couldn't get any fucking more dumb, they go ahead and buy the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Wolf.
All right. Say goodbye to big spending Red Sox. They're done. This is completely bad for Red Sox as fans because they brought Chaim Bloom in for a reason to run the fucking Red Sox like the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Sorry, the Tampa Bay Rays. This is the new norm. The Garrett Richards, the fucking dollar store signings that they hit. Hope you hit on one. I guess two. You hit on Kiki and Renfroe, right? I mean, that's the new norm for the Red Sox. It's bad fucking news. John Henry does not care about winning. He's all about making money now. I fucking want this cunt to sell the team. I hate this guy. I fucking hate him. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into more of that. There are a lot of ramifications for John Henry buying the Pittsburgh Penguins, of course, the owner of the Boston Red Sox.
Hey, I'm the Jacobs. I'm bullshit. Yeah, how's that? I'm bullshit.
It's an interesting dynamic for sure. That's how we're going to start off the show today. But before we get there, Ray, the mystery take of the day. Why don't you go ahead?
Well, mine was Bill's, but I didn't see him because he had like a paragraph, so I apologize. But
it's an opening take. It's supposed to be a minute. That was a minute, a paragraph, a minute. Boom, done.
Well, it took me 20 minutes to read it. But anyways, mine is that they just did the MVPs for the NL, AL. I don't like to toot my own horn, but Bryce Harper won for the NL. But how dumb is baseball when you have two losing teams that didn't make the playoffs win MVP honors? I hate it when Alex Rodriguez did it with the Texas Rangers all the time. Football, Super Bowl contender, you win an MVP. NBA championship contender, you win an MVP. Baseball, you can be shit and you can win an MVP. And I just fucking hate baseball. This is why it's dying sport.
The NL is a little weird too because there was no breakout star to there. You know, I mean, you look at the guys that were on winning teams. I mean, St. Louis won 19 games in a row. Yeah. Who would be MVP on that team? Nobody. You know, Ohtani, yeah, he probably should have got it. I mean, he was a monster as a pitcher and a hitter. So, I mean, you've seen Mike Trout win a year. What's he won? 3 to 4 MVPs now on a bad team. Never made the playoffs.
We'll get into the league, the CBA, the owners' proposal to basically get rid of arbitration, just play pairs per their WAR at 6 years or whatever. We can get into all of that. I'm just very impressed that Ray brought a baseball opening take. Just, well done, Raymond. I'll take a basketball opening take. I have decided to put 0. My expectations of the Boston Celtics are at a flat line, absolute 0. And I got to tell you, after one game of having this experience, it's a much better experience watching this team. They lost to the Hawks, and
welcome aboard.
It's just a much better experience having zero expectations for the Boston Celtics, keeping your expectations absolutely at the bottom level.
Did you read my text? I sent you?
Never. Nope.
Okay.
Good enough. Nope, that's okay. Welcome to Simple Mind Sports Show, Friday headlines, November 19th. Welcome to the show.
Just welcome aboard, Rich. I mean, I have 0 expectations for the Celtics always. You're never brokenhearted.
That's fucking bullshit, Bill. You were the first one to jump on the Jason Tatum is a superstar bandwagon.
Yeah, who was the first
into the budding superstar?
Who was the first to jump off? No, quickly. My text was instead of the cookie thing, because realistically, no one's going to eat a jizz-filled cookie.
That wasn't even a real bet. I don't know why you're taking that so seriously. I know why. You're the bottom of the totem pole of dumb.
But now
you've ruined the joke for the rest of the Celtic season. We can't keep sending gifts of eating cookies back and forth.
Oh no, you should.
Oh, there's so many funny ones that I'm just saving for the right moment.
No, yeah, we can still joke about it, but listen to the song I sent you. Loser has to sing that song.
No, that doesn't really work. God damn it! I'm just gonna 7.
Oh, no,
I'm
it
just gonna
works.
I'm just going to cut the rest of that. I'm just going to cut
it
everything that
works.
Ray just said.
It works.
The jizz cookie is a funny fucking joke that you just ruined. It could have lasted 82 games. The Ooka cookie was a very funny thing that was going, and you ruined it. Thanks, Ray.
It's like,
listen to the song I sent you, boys. You'll appreciate it.
Okay, very good. Why don't you listen to some suds going down your throat at the White Birch Brewery? There you go. Ray is. What do you got there, Ray?
Something a lot more interesting.
There it is, 11%. Drink responsibly.
I'm time traveling tonight, baby.
Attaboy. Right out of White Birch Brewing, the best craft brewing in New Hampshire. Nashua, New Hampshire. Ray, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
The good side of Amherst Street. Get on down to the brewery. Get yourself that 11%er. Drink responsibly. Get yourself an Uber. They're available. Whatever Ray's doing, don't do. If you can't get down to the brewery, catch a game on the flat screen TV at their beautiful. God damn it, Bill. Off.
Sorry.
A little bit of professionalism. Off.
Sorry, radio.
Game on the flat screen TV at their beautiful bar and their beautiful location. Bill won't be there in his pink shirt. I promise you.
Salmon.
You might catch him at your local beer store because that's where you should go. If you can't get it get down to the brewery. Wherever you get it, tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you. White Birch Brewing. Speaking of time
this shirt looks good on me. Fuck off.
Yeah, you look skinny, Bill. Good for you.
Thanks.
Speaking of time traveling,
I like the fourth person that's told me that lately. I appreciate it.
This is going to be one of those fucking nights, isn't it? This is going to be one of those fucking
You didn't
nights.
see him fucking have another shot while you were doing the fucking ad read when I was laughing my ass off?
The same.
In my experience, shots take 15 to 20 minutes to kick in. I don't know what kind of extra.
You can barely see his eyes.
It's the same one, you fuck. Jesus.
Speaking of time travel, I want to do a little bit of Raystradamus here. We're recording on Thursday night. However, this is going to be released Friday, so allow us to give you the results of the Patriots-Falcons Thursday night game. Patriots won handily. It was a little bit sloppy, but Mac Jones was good, not great. The defense was smothering. The Falcons fucking blow. And Matt Ryan should retire. That pretty much sums it up. Yeah, boys? Or did you guys see anything else?
Great.
Nick Folk was on point tonight too.
Yeah, 4 field goals, sloppy game. Patriots covered the spread at 7. Good for them.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah. Good defense.
Raymond last night had a good game.
Yeah. Matt Judon 3 sacks. Great game.
Can I get your thoughts on Thursday Night Football? How? Actually, Billy, this might be a good question for you, Rain Man. When did Thursday Night Football officially start? It was a long time ago. If my 10 years, right?
2012. Yeah, it was Brian Gumble. Who's the one that does Real Sports?
But what was the year? What season did it start? And how do you feel about it now compared to when it was? And what's your overall thoughts on Thursday Night Football?
It's probably been 10 or 12 years. But you remember before that, it was only 2 games a year. And now basically every team has to play on Thursday Night Football. I fucking hate it. I hate it. It's sloppy football. It was longer than 12?
It's going on 26 years. I mean, 20.
Yeah, that math ain't right. I'm gonna ask somebody else to check this.
16 years. 16 years.
So yeah, either way, but I mean, I hate it.
It's
an
extra decade. I need
time traveling. The flux capacitor is a little fucked up right now. I'm sorry, boys.
Steve Young was hawking it on Thursday night. Steve Young in a Bucks jersey was fucking
2006, November 23rd, 2006.
Yeah, because what?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because remember,
we were at a high school.
Gumble called Brady's 50th against the Giants. He was on the call for that. It was like the NFL Network game or whatever.
This is the type of information that not a lot of people have. I don't know what the 50th touchdown. How the fuck do you know that?
And then to Randy Moss, I'm just telling that was the game. It was the 50th, and Moss dropped it to play before, and boom, right back to him for a touchdown. It was because it was a weird broadcast. It's so fucking stupid. But that's how the Thursday night games. He was calling them for NFL Network because they were on NFL Network when NFL Network launched. They're like, oh fuck it, we're gonna put games on it. It's stupid. I hate it. The human body, after getting your shit kicked out of you on the fucking field on Sunday, especially the Patriots have to travel. Now on a Thursday night game, it's not. I mean, if you want to make earlier games, why don't you do a Friday or a Saturday game? Make it a little earlier. But a Thursday night game, dude, you got to give these guys. They don't even hit each other on the practice fields. It's like a meetings and then walkthroughs. That's it. It's stupid. I fucking hate these games.
I like it. I like the idea that there's something to look forward to in football season on Thursday. I think the product's gotten a lot better. I think teams and franchises have learned how to adjust. The broadcast has certainly gotten better. I kind of like it. Yeah, certainly the football is not as good, but I think they've done a decent enough job, like either giving a bye before or bye week after. I guess that would be they could do a better job of that.
Yeah.
Try and schedule a Thursday night game around a bye, one on one side or the other. Like,
or
start
Thursday night football when the bye start. Obviously, have the opening night Super Bowl winner doing the Thursday night football is great, but then after that, don't start Thursday night football until bye week start.
One year they gave the Cowboys a Thursday night game before Thanksgiving, so they had back-to-back Thursday games, and then they had a big like a 11 day bye. I mean, I guess you get the longer break, so I guess it's like a mini bye, which is good. But the problem is the Patriots don't have a bye until what, after Tennessee or after
to your point, Bill, this
Buffalo.
is good for the Patriots because they don't have a bye and they haven't had a bye all year. But this is a little bit of a mini one. They get to go down to Atlanta, play in their case, it's lucked out. They're playing a lesser team, and they should be able to just kind of walk in.
Another break for the Patriots too.
Play.
Jesus.
And now they'll have 10 days. Then they'll play Titans, Bills, and get their actual bye week. So. Yeah,
I think it's better.
Sometimes the schedule works out for you, but I think they can do, to Ray's point, I think you could do a better job of either waiting for the bye weeks to start up or scheduling it around bye weeks.
Do what you do with London.
To give these guys a little bit more.
When you're picked to play in London, you have that opportunity. You want your bye week directly after the London game or later on in the season. You have that option as a team, because I believe Buffalo the year before chose not to, or someone recently chose not to take their bye after the London game. So, I mean, at least they should give you that option. Yeah. But the problem is, again, every team they wanted to stack. Remember, I think it started with a color rush. Remember when the color rush jersey came out, 2013, 2012? That was when they started playing every fucking night on Thursday night, and then every team had to play the color rush jersey. It's just another money grab. You're watering down.
Yeah.
You're watering it down.
Overall, that's true, but they've certainly got better with it. All right, enough of that. Let's get into Bill's opening take here and get into a little bit of baseball talk. A decent amount of baseball talk here mid football season.
Hey, Ray, take a nap.
Football going on. But no, Ray, I would invite you to be a part of this conversation. As a matter of fact, fuck off, Bill. I'm going to go to you first, Ray. John Henry buys the Penguins. John Henry and the Fenway Group acquire the Pittsburgh Penguins for around $900 million. They were on
900?
Yeah, 900. No, we're like 950 or something. It was close to
that's
$1 billion.
I thought in this market, that's all right. That's a steal.
What the fuck is the market for sports teams? What's the market
for a team like that?
It's hockey.
Well, they were on the brink of
hockey.
Yeah, $900 million for a hockey team is pretty fucking good. I mean, the only $1 billion teams in hockey are the original six. So, and Pittsburgh's not one of them. So that's pretty good for them. There'll be $1 billion. I bet you there'll be $1 billion team within the next 24 months with the Fenway Group.
How does that team go bankrupt?
Anyway, Raymond, obviously this has stirred shit up in Boston because John Henry is the owner of the Red Sox. Seemingly he has taken a back seat in ownership of the Red Sox in terms of spending over the last few years, even though they did win in 2018 and they have won 4 championships under his reign. We still have this murky feeling about John Henry, and this just extends it. He bought Liverpool about 10 years ago. He brought LeBron James in a year or so ago. Now he buys the Pittsburgh Penguins,
Roush Racing,
and not only North America, but less than 200 something miles from fucking Boston itself. The Pittsburgh Penguins, one of the biggest rivals of the Bruins. Ray, what the fuck? Does this guy just not give a shit? It's not associated with Boston. It's just the money. This is not good. No.
He doesn't give a shit. And also, doesn't he own NESN? John Henry owns NESN?
80%. 80%.
And who's on NESN?
Bruins own 20.
The NESN thing, the Red Sox own 80%. The Bruins own 20%.
Bruins own 20.
So
John
I'm just
saying, though, now you
owns 20% of NESN.
Yeah, so therefore, you're having a rival that you just bought and your programming has the Bruins on. It's the dumbest shit ever. It's like, so what happens during free agency and you have someone that you're looking after? It's between the Bruins and fucking Pittsburgh. It's just you're losing money either way. It's just it's a dumb look for John Henry. He's just trying to play Monopoly right now and buy a boardwalk and fucking Park Place and have all the assets. And it's dumb. I don't understand it.
Bill, before you go, because I know you have a lot to say, and I'm going to let you have a lot to say, but there are just conflicts of interest everywhere here. Of course, let me start first from just a fan's perspective. The guy that owns your team in Boston, your baseball team in Boston, also owns the hockey team in Pittsburgh. Those two cities are rivals
We hate each other. And football.
The same people rooting for the Red Sox are the same people rooting for the Bruins. It doesn't work. Business-wise, sure, it works. You can separate it. Different sport, different league, different spreadsheet, sure. But sports doesn't work like that. It's an emotional grab. It's a visceral emotional grab. How are you going to look at that? And when the Bruins are playing the Pittsburgh Penguins, you're rooting for the Bruins. John Henry's rooting for the Penguins. He's got a Penguins cap on. But a couple months from now, he'll be wearing a fucking Red Sox. It doesn't vibe, baby. Does not vibe. Not to mention the actual business clash with Nesson, which is real. Like when the Bruins play the fucking Penguins, John Henry is part of that deal. He's the majority owner of the fucking network. Yeah. So like, come on.
You know what I'm doing? I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm the Bruins, I'm keeping my 20% stake and I'm selling my fucking TV rights at the highest bidder at the local network. I'm jumping off that. And my hope is that John Henry starts playing Pittsburgh games and you expand Nesson out into the Pittsburgh area, Pittsburgh market. And now you have a bigger revenue stream for the Bruins on twofold. You have the new TV rights for, see who plays NBC Sports Boston. Say they jump in and grab the Bruins. Ooh, that's probably going to be that's probably going to be a big that would be a big mega deal, right? And now if John Henry wants to expand Nesson into the fucking Pittsburgh market to play Pittsburgh home games, because again, he owns the fucking network and the team, that's more revenue from another market for the Bruins that's just going to be pouring money in, 20% more pouring right in. So it's a smart move for the Bruins to get the fuck out, but John Henry's a piece of shit. I've hated John Henry for a while. I believe I put him on my top 4 hated list. I think it was John Henry. In Boston was John Henry. I don't care that you won 4 championships, but you've seen it. And I mentioned in my take, this Heim Bloom bullshit. There's a reason he brought in, and it was to fucking stack prospects and do exactly what Tampa is. You have $180 million payroll. I believe you're $30 million under the luxury tax. Don't expect Correa coming in. He wants Francis Lindor money. Don't expect Marcus Semien, who wants 6 years for 130. So it's basically what Xander has, around 23, 24 million, or 138, 140. Nope. Big spending is over. John Henry's $950 million in no, it's bullshit. Conflict of interest is there. If I'm a fucking Red Sox fan, which I am, I'm bullshit. If I'm a Bruins fan, I'm fucking even more bullshit. This is what's the big problem with not the hometown boys owning our teams. Robert Kraft, Wick Rosebeck, hometown guys owning our teams. Jeremy Jacobs, fucking from Buffalo, and now John Henry from God knows wherever. He's just a owner assassin, basically. I think. It's bullshit. Mr. Burns, he's from fucking Springfield.
Can I keep going with your point there? Let me keep going with your point, because he also owns Liverpool, like we mentioned. Salah, who's one of the best strikers in the Premier League, he's not getting paid. So he's doing the same thing with Liverpool. He's downsizing. He's not spending the money. Salah is going to be one of the top free agents going in Premier League right now. And he's just monopolizing. He's just buying these teams, but not like making them better. He's making them worse, kind of.
All right, hold on. Like, here's the money aspect, Bill. I don't have the same concern of you on the money side of things. I do. There is a link with the spending that has gone on with the Red Sox and Liverpool and his NASCAR shit. If you pay attention to that I've heard that equate to, they've been pitching pennies to buy this team. But like anything else that you want to buy, like you save and then you buy it and then you're kind of liquid again. So I'm not as worried about the spending. I would not be surprised.
Thanks, Mr. Degree.
I would not be, thank you. I would not be surprised if the Red Sox went over the luxury tax this year, or maybe next year, because I think the luxury tax lack of spending in baseball is more about the CBA that's going on now.
You want to bet on this year? I don't think it's not going to be this year.
Well, the CBA is still an issue this year, and we'll talk about that in a second. So I think that the lack of spending is more about that, because the only team to go over the cap was the Dodgers this year. Every team stayed under. So, but regardless of that, outside of the money aspect, which I think could have an effect, it feels icky. It feels fucking gross. It's the same thing I've told you about the Celtics for years when they were going after Kyrie and
Durant,
and who the fucking guy in LA. Sorry, Ray.
Kawhi.
AD.
Kawhi. Oh, Davis.
Anthony Davis. I didn't want to root for that fucking team. I didn't want to root for that team. They probably could have been good. They probably could have won some championships, but I don't want a mercenary championship. Like, sports are about feeling good about what you're rooting for. So the fact that John Henry now has his paws in a team that is a direct rival of the Boston Bruins, who are in the same city, just doesn't feel fucking right.
This would be like Wick Rosbeck buying the fucking Jets or some bullshit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's on the same old Jeremy Jacobs getting, like, it's a football team, right? I mean, it's bullshit. John Henry buying the Jets is the same as him buying the fucking Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah,
it's bullshit. Like, you can't do this. This is what mercenary owners is. This is why it's fucking bullshit. We've asked a question on this. It
hurts the sport because you're now monopolizing ownership across professional sports, and they've already become too big business.
I haven't prayed in a long time, but
the monopolization.
Please, baby Jesus, John Henry, sell the Red Sox. Please.
Now, I don't think he can.
Raise Jesus. Please raise Jesus. Sell the Red Sox.
Speaking of the Red Sox, Bill, and their spending this season, let me give you the biggest, if not the only, signings this year. There've only been a handful, and I have a question as to why there are any. But let me give you a couple. Ray, losses. Condolences for you. Verlander is staying in Houston with his. Is it their wife? Is Upton his wife?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That nickel piece.
Fuck you, Bill.
1 year, $25 million, staying with the Astros. Jose Berrios.
She's a Raymond 10. I'll give her that. Raymond 10.
In Toronto, 7 years, 131. Brandon Belt, 1 year, $18 million. Have you ever heard of him? Good for you. Erod,
Giants.
We know that one. 5 years, $77 million with the Tigers. Noah Syndergaard, Thor, is going out to San Francisco for $21 million for 1 year. And Andrew Heaney, 1 year reliever, $8.5 million to the Dodgers. Some of those names that you might not be familiar with is probably because baseball is dying, but also because there's only literally been 6 or 7 signings in the offseason, which we kind of expected, Bill, because the CBA has been a big sticking point. And Manfred came out before we went on the show. I saw a headline that he said there's a good chance that the owners lock out here just to try and get some things moving and move the negotiations. But the point is they're going to lock out. Why do you think these players have signed these deals, and why do you think a majority of them are pitchers? I have a thought, but why do you think?
Everyone needs pitching, and it sets you're setting the market for pitching at this point. You saw Cole and all these guys going for fucking over $30 million. I thought that Berrios deal was a fucking great deal. And if I was the Red Sox, I mean, you didn't want to pony up the prospects to get him, but if you could have brought Berrios here in the East on a 7-year deal for pretty cheap money, it was 140, I believe you said. So I mean, that's a fucking good.
It's 131 for 7 years. It's 18 per. And sorry to interrupt you, but let me throw you my conspiracy get a life loser at you for now.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball has moved drastically in a different direction in terms of pitching. The starting pitcher is not worth what he used to be worth just 3 or 4 years ago, right? Chris Sale signed a deal, which was probably one of the last deals of the real
Garrett Cole,
probably the last big deal of starting pitchers. I think that these guys, the Berrios, Erod, are signing these deals at 18, 15 million per, potentially thinking, and maybe they're wrong, but potentially thinking that this new CBA is going to reflect deals being better for relievers, the Garrett Whitlocks of the world, and the closers, these guys that are going to be getting paid.
I'm shaking my head because I 100% agree, because
$12 million. Your middle reliever,
the playoffs showed it, Rich.
$12 million a year. Your starter is also going to get paid $12 million a year. So these guys are looking at it saying, fuck, if I can get in at 18 or 15 per, I might not see that on the other side of this negotiation because the game is changing so drastically. That was my thought, because you look at the list, I didn't expect anybody to sign. You had less than a month before the CBA ends, and you get some decent. It's really, for me, the Erod and the Berrios deal that really stand out. But then even Verlander and Syndergaard are like
both coming up.
Both coming up. Yeah, but
also both coming up. Tommy John, I think I told you, Rich, 2 for 30 for Verlander from the Red Sox. I thought I'd feel comfortable there, but I'll tell you what,
it would have been 2 for 50, so a little bit off. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But I think that's my point I'm trying to make.
Hold on. Yeah, no, I know. And
any of these pitchers that
agree.
can grab something over what maybe they're anticipating the market value to be for starters, which is maybe 15 to 17 or less than that, 12, 15, same as like.
Well, I mean, yeah, the nerds ruined baseball. You put me on the spot. I didn't know this. I wasn't prepared for this question, but no, like the relievers, Tampa Bay, like I said, 58% of their innings pitched since 2018, which leads the majors is by relief pitching. You look how they're playing in the playoffs. Again, the Dodgers started a reliever 2 games in a row, game 7 against the Giants, and then the fucking game 1 against the Braves. I forget his name. Kubel. They started Neville. They started Corey Neville. Just because the nerds are ruining baseball. They're basically paying starters to pitch 5 innings. That's all they're really through 3 times through the order. That's all it is. And you make a good point. I mean, that's what it is. They're emphasizing it on relievers, which the relievers are going to start. Matt Barnes just got $8 million.
Right.
Jansen from the Dodgers Jansen from the Dodgers is up this year as a free agent. He's probably going to sign one of the biggest reliever deals ever.
But even
coming
the
off
reliever
one
side
already.
This is what I think, Bill. I don't even see it as the closers getting big money now. I think that owners are looking at it and going, you guys are using these pitchers basically the same way across the entire board.
Yep.
Why am I paying this guy $30 million to pitch 5 innings and this guy $2 million to pitch 3 innings? I'll pay him both 7, and then I'll pay this closer who closes every 3rd game depending on the matchup. I'll pay him 7 too. So let's keep it all let's pay him all fucking 10 and call it a day. All pitchers get $10 million a year. I can just kind of see that negotiation standpoint from the owner's side of the table, and baseball having a hard time defending it with the way that they've changed the game or ruined the game, to your point.
So throwing his stats starting aside, to the point you just made, Garrett Richards' bullpen stats since they moved him in there at $10 million. In the scenario you laid out where money is going more to relieving, which is what we're talking about, like, are you okay if the Red Sox brought him back for a 2 to 3 inning guy in the middle innings that could eat up innings at 10 million based on the mold you had if he was already signed, right? Raymond? So he's not signed.
Raymond, answer the question. Are you okay with bringing Garrett Richards back at that cost, 10 million?
No. Absolutely not.
Okay, well, I knew that was coming. My answer for you, Bill, is a question. And I know that you're not supposed to answer a question with a question, but you answer this truthfully as possible. Was Garrett Richards more valuable as a relief pitcher or as a starter?
Probably a relief pitcher based on what you tanked down the stretch, right? You collapsed. Sorry, not tank. You collapsed down the stretch, but when you moved in, you got some stability in a lot of games, and he kept you in a lot of games for those comebacks, right? So I mean, that's what you needed. That's what you wanted. And if the going right now for a guy that could pitch in the 6th, 7th, maybe possibly get you in the 8th, limit your base runners, what Garrett Richards is. $10 million might be the going rate.
I just go, all right, if you
good.
You were paying the Max Scherzers and the best starters in the league for shits, call it $30 million. David Price got something close to 30 million. Call it 30 million so we can do the math easy. They were expected in their best to pitch 9 innings. Now, at their best, pitchers are expected to pitch 5 or 6. So just cut the fucking price in half. Call it 15, and then the guys that come behind them, you cut that in half. Call it 7. And then the guys that come behind them, cut that in half. Call it 5. Can't you not see the fucking nerds writing that out in a goddamn Excel spreadsheet and going, no, this is what everyone's worth. This guy gets 5 innings. This guy gets 3 innings. This guy gets 1 inning.
It's Billy Bean and it's Brad Pitt and Moneyball. Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill and Moneyball. No
consideration for clutch and late. No consideration for coming in the 9th inning in Yankee Stadium bearing fucking down on you. No consideration for any of that shit. These is what it sucks. All right.
Do you know who just disproved that though? The world champion Atlanta Braves. Yeah. Thank you. Go ahead.
Take that, Salmon Boy. Speaking of world champions, let's see if the Red
Your
Sox
mother loves when I wear
this shirt. Here's a little off-season plan. I took this from a couple places. I heard you, but I took this from a couple places, mostly The Athletic, so props to them. But Red Sox off-season plan, some rumors, and just a little foreshadowing for might happen. Let me finish all this through, Bill, and then I will go to Ray first. And then I will let you finish. Okay.
My throat hurts anyways.
Ray's going to say, yeah, that sounds good. And then I will let you go. Here's the Red Sox offseason play. They're rumored on Javi Baez. That's a no. That's not.
No.
First of all, it's not going to happen. They're not going to do it. Marcus Semien. Let's just assume that all these things happen from here on out. Marcus Semien to come play second base. The Athletic to have a contract rumored at 6 years, $138 million projected. Then they have them Red Sox trading JD Martinez, shed some salary, potentially bring some bullpen help back. Then they have them signing Kyle Schwarber at 4 years, $70 million. That leaves about $8 to $10 million left, which gives you enough room to sign a veteran pitcher. And they have them signing Steven Matz, who they've been linked to for 3 years, $27 million.
They just got linked today too. They're going to stay in touch.
There you go. Which would put their lineup at some. Which let me go with the rotation first. Their rotation would look something like this: Chris Sale, coming off of Tommy John surgery, should continue to get a little bit better. Nathan Eovaldi, who's my guy, fuck you, Bill. Steven Matz, lefty, last with Toronto, 3-4 ERA, something like that. Nick Pivetta, who's also my guy, fuck you, Bill, and then something between Garrett Whitlock, Tanner Houck, and whoever else they want to throw in that 5 spot. Your lineup looks like Kike, Kyle Schwarber, Bogarts, Devers, Marcus Semien, Alex Verdugo in left field, Christian Vasquez, and catcher, and then first base we don't know yet. There's still no.
It'll be Dahlbach with a veteran,
Dahlbach, but you have Cassius coming up, so you're a year or two away.
Oh God, he might be up by the All-Star break next year. He is tearing up the Arizona Fall League right now.
This right field is where I'll go to you right here. Saiwa Suzuki has been rumored to Saya Suzuki is rumored to the Red Sox. 5'11",
we can't go. We can't.
Okay, I'll beep that. 27-year-old Japanese player, slash line at 319, 436, 640, 38 home runs, 88 RBIs, and 9 stolen bases last year in the Japanese league. Projected 4-year, $4 million per. I don't know what the deal is with Renfroe, so I know Maz on 98.5 has been high on this Japanese player. Raymond, I laid it out for you. You can see it on the email. Your initial thoughts on this Red Sox offseason projection?
I'd rather go with more pitching because the pitching rotation was the one that was the Achilles heel last year for us. So I feel like we need more starting pitching. I don't think Steven Matz is just enough. I think Semien needs. I don't think Semien would be the guy. I think you gotta get more fucking. I think you gotta get more pitching help. I hate how it comes up on my computer. I hate how it comes on my computer.
Oh, you guys got apples now, huh? Oh, I gotta get me one. I gotta get me one of them.
Yep. Bill, your thoughts on the offseason projection laid out roughly?
I'm a big Marcus Semien guy. His first year playing, he played 162 games at second base. First year full time at second base. You know, he won a Gold Glove there. I think he had 46 home runs, batted 265. I think that's a perfect at $23 million. I think that's a going rate. I feel more. I like playing him with the power he has in the middle lineup. That gives you the flexibility to move JD. I mean, and then it gives you that option. What happens with Xander, right? So Xander can opt out, and you have a good replacement. He's won a Gold Glove
guy till one of these middle infielders down.
And Mayer, you have Mayer and Machado and Seager that he's been linked to right now. They're high on this kid. You know, hopefully, you know they'll bring him along slowly. He's a high school kid, but still, like it gives you that. Like you said, Rich, it's a guy.
Interrupt you, but you're talking about Mayer, the 4th overall pick last year.
Yep.
His projections are Manny Machado, Corey Seager, that type of player, which is obviously a top of the echelon baseball player. I just like the idea.
Real quick before you go, but with Bogarts can opt out at the end of next season, and if he wants to go the Carlos Carrera route, who just basically came out today and said, "I want Lindor money," I think Bogarts is gone. And if you can get Marcus Semien at 23, 24, I'd probably be okay going up to 25 million with Semien just based off his power and his defense alone. And he can ship between second and shortstop. You let Bogarts kind of walk at that point, and you just move him to shortstop. Hope fucking York gets up here and hope fucking Jeter Downs can make that leap, or you just have a stopgap in Arroyo. But like, I think this right here is a huge deal if you go out and get Semien, because defense is a huge need in your infield. right now, and he's again a Gold Glover at 2 different positions. So,
Yeah,
I think that's the target.
I like the Simeon deal too for everything you're talking about, and he's young enough to be able to be a bridge guy for.
He's 31.
You got a ton of talent in your system in the middle infield positions. Most of it projects to second base, except for the Mayor kid. But even still, yeah.
Can I ask you a question too?
Price himself out of Boston, and they don't want to pay him. I like Bogarts. I think Bogarts is one of the best, if not the best, shortstop in the bigs. However, if he's going to want above 30 per year for a 7-8 year deal as he moves into his mid to late 30s, then no, you have to say goodbye. You have to. You can't do that deal, even if you are the Boston Red Sox. Even if, and I'm not even trying to stay under the cap like the cheap fucking John Henry is, so he can sign a back defenseman for his fucking Penguins.
Can I ask you a question? Who? Just no names based off stats. 285, 30 home runs, like between 90 and 100 RBIs, or 265 between 40 and 49 home runs, 100 RBIs. Who are you paying that 20 to 30 million for?
Well, I'm an old school man, so I'm going to pay the average, and I'm going to pay Bogarts. But I understand what you're trying to say. The power runs baseball, and I know Marcus Semien has a little bit more power than Bogarts.
All right, so throw in the defense too. A Gold Glove defense
is better.
Bogarts is not great.
Tell me what Semien does in the playoffs.
Yeah, you got a good point there. Yep.
Because Bogarts, in my estimation, if Bogarts was clutch, if Bogarts was money in the playoffs, I'd pay him whatever he wanted. But he has, except for when he first came up in 2013 and he had 7 at-bats and was clutch in those 7 at-bats, he's kind of underperformed in the playoffs for the Red Sox, even through a couple World Series.
But he had one big hit in this postseason when they needed him most, especially game 4, 5, and 6 against Houston, where the bats went completely silent. I mean,
when the bats go completely silent for the Red Sox, Xander Bogaerts is not the guy to bring them out of that, which is a problem for me if you want $30 million a year.
But Semien is, because of the pure power alone. Let's be real. 46 home runs. I mean, when you're cold and you have power like that, it only takes 1 or 2, right? Bogarts but Bogarts is 20 to 30, right? But Semien getting up there close to 50 is, I mean, that's the benchmark. And again, the defense is huge on this team. When you have such a shitty third baseman in Rafael Devers, you can't have, you need consistent defensive play in your infield. Bogarts is, I would say, below average to average in that range as a defender. He's never going to win a Gold Glove. He's more known for his offense, but a guy like Semien can slide in at shortstop or second base in the power alone. His best year was in Oakland. He hit 280 with 46 or 48 home runs. So
let's put it this way. If they sign Marcus Semien this offseason, they're not getting rid of Bogarts or Devers in this offseason. I would expect an extension for Devers soon.
I don't expect any of it from my opening take. So,
well, we'll see. But if they were, you'd have a real lethal infield however you wanted to place it, defensively and offensively. You'd be looking good. And as a team that was 2 wins away from the World Series, the expectation for this team is another deep playoff run, especially if you sign a name like that and you bolster your rotation, which was just laid out. They can do and stay under the tax. Thank you, The Athletic, for doing the grunt.
You read the same article. I go Semien, Matz, and trading JD and going younger with Schwarber probably could legit put you in the World Series just based off the teams last year. I mean, Houston, especially Carrera, he's gone.
Don't forget Saya.
You know how I feel about them. Konnichiwa.
Okay. Well, you told us not to go down there, and then you went.
You fucking do it.
Trouble, and then you went down there.
No, it's all
that's enough baseball talk for now.
You can either get an Ichiro or you can get a Dice K. There's just so much in between.
Dice K was okay. He was just hyped. The gyro ball just hyped him up too much. It's all about a hype. You just got to keep the expectations low enough. 4 at $4 million per. Like, this guy's not expected to come in and beat Ichiro Dice K. He's just come in.
Or you could get another Cuban, like fucking, who was that guy that got that?
Rosie Castillo. Let's not.
Rosie.
Later. Before we get back in the Red Sox talk, which would be another day after the headlines, we'll be talking a little basketball. But before that, let us please kick it over to the headlines with the obvious one.
Thank you, Mitch Buchanan. Raystradamus says the Patriots beat the Falcons handily on Thursday Night Football. They next take on the Tennessee Titans in Week 12. John Henry and the Fenway Group purchased the Pittsburgh Penguins in a move that will push John Henry closer to the Kyrie Irving than Big Papi in Boston. The Celtics lose to the 6-9 Atlanta Hawks by 11. The Celtics shot 43% from three. Jason Tatum scored 34 points with 9 rebounds and 5 assists. And I'm a little teapot short.
Got him.
They take on LeBron.
Read it, Raymond. Read it.
Read it.
And I'm a little teapot, short, and stout. They take on LeBron James tonight, but he is questionable for the game tonight. The Bruins have back-to-back games this weekend versus the Flyers and the Calgary Flames. This has been headlines with the obvious one. Back to you, Mitch Buchanan. Fuck, I should have pre-wrote.
Hey, Rich, from now on, I'm gonna send you weird words every week, before the show, and see if you can.
That's not fair. Lou gives you fucking word of the day all the time. That's not
Lou.
fucking.
Send me the word of the day from Lou, and I'll slip them in.
I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
Pour one up for Lou.
Speaking of what they don't do, the Celtics don't seem to win anymore or play well since 2008. This team, I don't know. You always slip one in, and I don't hear it because I'm talking. But
I killed him.
This team was built. Oh my God, it's coming out of his nose.
I have beer everywhere. Excuse me.
It wasn't even that funny.
You said you killed Lou. Go ahead, Rich. All you.
Real things make it funny. If it's real, it's funny. This Celtics team. Look, this is what's bugging me with the Celtics team because we'll track into the same conversation that it's always been is the Jason Tatum and not knowing how to win type of shit. But this is also something I've been saying for the last couple of years. This is going back to Brad Stevens, to Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens. They've built this team to be a team that shoots a shit ton. They are on record to shoot the most three-pointers in Celtics franchise history. And through the first however many games, they have the worst three-point shooting percentage. So one of those things doesn't fucking add up. I know I'm not a math guy, Rain Man, but that doesn't add up. You want to shoot the most threes, but you're shooting the least percentage. It doesn't vibe with me. I don't think it vibes.
Let me run this through my calculator. Yeah,
Dennis Schroeder, Jason Tatum, Horford, Smart, Pritchard, and Nesmith are your biggest three-point shooters on the team. They're collectively 120 out of 410 three-pointers. That's good for 29% behind the line. It's atrocious. And this obviously comes from this game against Atlanta, where if you watched it, they didn't hit a fucking shot. I think they shot 4% from the fucking three-point line. Grant Williams is their best three-point shooter at 40%. Grant fucking Williams.
No, it's so out on this team.
It's gone beyond the point of out on this team. Like how do you not realize you don't have the fucking personnel to do what you're doing? It makes me snap on the Jays and like getting hard on them, being hard on them, and being critical of them, because you watch the game and like Tatum has 5 assists this game and 9 assists, 34 points. And I get we're bad at Tatum because he's kind of ballless, but he's kicking the ball out. He's driving and kicking. He's getting doubled and triple teams and he's finding open guys. They just can't fucking make shots. If I was them, I probably wouldn't pass the ball either by the quarter through the season. I'd be chucking up shots to see if I can make it, because I have a better chance of making it double covered than you have making it wide fucking open, because you suck. Quickly, and that's the team that they've built.
Quickly, being Brad Stevens, he lived and died by the 3 last year. You bring in Ime, who also is using this philosophy. Wouldn't you go out and get a 3-point specialist for this team instead of getting Jason Richardson and shit like that? Wouldn't you try to get like a JJ Redick, a guy that
no money?
I'm just saying, instead of going out and getting those free
Richardson was $18 million. He made trades He made a trade for Richardson. He made a trade for Horford. Now, granted, no one wanted Horford, and Horford's been great for this team. He's not shooting great three-pointer wise, but he's been great for this team. But the Richardson deal is a good point, Ray. Instead of bringing in another defensive specialist, which fine, they've been good.
Riddick retired though. You can't throw that out. He retired.
But give me someone. Let me go back to this, Bill. Why don't you sink your fucking teeth into this? Gordon Hayward for Miles Turner and McBuckets.
I'm all in, baby.
You don't think McBuckets it could be that's the perfect guy in this fucking team. A guy that shoots over 40% from three that can just stand in the corner and wait for a pass and hit it. That's who Neesmith's supposed to be. Best shooter in the draft. He's shooting like 14% and getting 9 minutes.
And Pritchard's not doing shit either after being the Street League MVP, scoring 80 points or something.
Never liked him as a shooter. He's a streaky shooter. He's a decent point guard, but he's a streaky shooter and a bad defender. This Celtics team has a ton of problems. Here's the number one thing that'll fix it. Jason Tatum grows the fuck up and learns how to be a
try again next year.
Player.
We'll try again next year.
Jaylen Brown in the same boat. That's the only thing that's really going to fix this team. But the other thing, and God damn it, I hate to say it, Ray. I hate to say it, but the Fire Brad should have been all the way Fire Brad, because the system and the methodology and the ideology of this team has not fucking changed. Has not fucking changed.
Nope.
Ime Udoka he's not playing his bench as much and he's trying to, I guess, play starters to get wins, and maybe they're buying in on defense a little bit more, but they've basically built a team and said, we're going to win and die by the three. And that has never worked for a team ever, except for the
works for Ray's mom.
Shooters ever.
Come by March, when the March Madness is all said and done and Coach K is done, maybe the Brad to
Well, his grandson just got arrested for DWI with like 3 people in the car, and they all got arrested. It's some weird situation, but fuck Coach K. I hope he collapses on the courts. Carry on.
The defense has held. The defense. I'm just gonna mute Bill for this segment. Hold on. My greater point on the Celtics is trying to talk. I told you he's gonna mute you. The greater point for this Celtics team is I told you that they needed shooters and they didn't bring in fucking shooters. They're 99.3%. They've held their defense. Defense has held the opponents to 99.3 points per game in the last 8 games. They're 5-3, including 2 19-point blowouts. A lot of people want to put that record at 7-1 if you didn't blow 19-point leads, but that's the fucking team that you are. That's the exact team that
close.
You are. They can't close, and they become a team that just can't shoot.
And they've been
a
known
team that's
to be
relying
like that
on shooting.
But that's been like that for the past 3 years. Nothing's changed. Just a different coach on the sideline. Nothing's changed. Same old, same old. You guys can't close. They have no balls. They're little bitches. They bitch at every call. Jason Tatum's not a real superstar because he hasn't grown up yet. It's the same thing night in, night out with this team.
Well, it's the same. Back it up a little bit. It's from the bubble, right? Because they went to the Eastern Conference Finals in the bubble, and a lot of people picked them to win, and they pissed away 3 games at the end with turnovers and bad shots to the Heat. Jason Tatum got blocked by Dwight Bosch. Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum were turning it over one-on-one at the top of the key. So they were really good up until the bubble, and it looked like they were projecting to be really good beyond that. And then you had the COVID year, which completely fell apart, and now the beginning of this year, which seems like they overcorrected a little bit, and nothing has changed. To your point, Ray.
No, nothing's changed, and nothing will change. The season's going to get worse, not going to get better.
I disagree with that a little bit, but to my greater point is well,
can I just say real quick to follow it up? If you keep losing, you keep having these shooting slumps. We've seen Jason Tatum just give up. He doesn't give a fuck.
Sucks.
It's all about the me. So if he's not playing well, if this team's not playing well, you're going to see him moping around, not being into it, just going through the motions, kind of like a JD Drew in 2020 with the Red Sox, just being there just so he can get paid. That's all he's going to be.
Yeah, I push back a little bit that Jason Tatum doesn't give a fuck. I think that he's certainly not intense enough to be the leader of a team, even though he should be because he's the best player, but I don't think he doesn't give a fuck. But yeah, I could definitely see him checking out. And I don't think that they won't continue to improve. I think that they respect Ime up until this point, and they'll continue to try. However, if they continue to suck, then yeah, everyone's going to quit at some point in the NBA, and that's just what happens. That's just what happens in the fucking NBA.
Yeah, that's smart.
Phil,
Smart
can you stop undermining the fucking show in your fucking pink shirt just because we're talking basketball and you have nothing to say? When Ray has nothing to say for the first 30 minutes about baseball,
he spits out his beer.
I don't see him texting us bullshit and making someone else laugh.
That's right, Bill.
Ray is a fucking easy target and will laugh at anything.
I did not try to make Ray laugh. He just spit out his beer on his own. He's an idiot.
You said you killed Lou. That made me laugh.
You're a dumb fuck.
Not hysterically with
why don't you
fucking
sink your teeth
boogers
into
out of
this,
your
Bill?
nose.
Why don't you sink your teeth into move into doing something different with this Celtics team before we move on to our simplest mind of the week? I'll give you some latest trade rumors and tell me what you like. This is the big one. Ben Simmons goes to the Kings. De'Aaron Fox goes to Philadelphia, and the Celtics, who have been rumored to this guy for a long time, they finally get Harrison Barnes. In return for that, the Celtics have to dish out Grant Williams, Aaron Nesmith, Josh Richardson, and a couple first round pick. Also, out of the Kings, out of Sacramento, Marvin Bagley has been rumored to be on the move. Do you do that? Is that a deal? Do you dish out Grant, Aaron Nesmith, Richardson in the first round for Harrison Barnes? No. Also knowing that De'Aaron Fox goes to Philly, who was in your way.
That scares the shit out of me because I'm high on De'Aaron Fox.
I love De'Aaron Fox.
He's not the defensive guy that Ben Simmons.
Not to interrupt you, Bill, because I know you haven't said shit
opposite.
about this, but De'Aaron Fox is the perfect guy to put with Tatum because he's a guy that gives he cares too much. He's an asshole. He cares too much. That could maybe push Tatum to his fucking
Celtics were high on him too one year. The year he came out, the Celtics were real high and he didn't fall to him. I mean, I like it, but the problem is I don't want him going to Philly. No fucking way. And I think if the deal that needs to be made is Marcus Smart, any deal that's made around the Celtics right now needs to get that fucking testicular cancer off this team.
I'll give you one. This is a far-fetched one, and this is from I forget The Athletic, maybe DeJounte Murray and something else called
the Spurs.
Kayeda Bates, out of the Spurs.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Marcus Smart, Aaron Nesmith, and 2 first-round picks. One of them in 2025, one of them in 2022.
Absolutely, those guys. That's
a no-brainer deal.
That's a no-brainer. But if I'm popping, go. If I'm popping, Brad Stevens called me with that deal, I'm hanging up the phone and I'm gonna do what Toucher and Rich did to Rick Pitino. Sell that deal.
Let me give you the in between then. Terrence Ross out of Orlando for Aaron Nesmith, Grant Williams, and a second rounder.
100% because Terrence Ross can drop 50 off your bench.
Bingo. That's the deal. Give me some more fucking shooters and some more scorers. Like this team has not been built to score. Like you think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are enough to. That's not how teams work. You can't just rely on those guys to score. No one else can fucking shoot. Terrence Ross has Shorter's been good, but he's a 6th man. He's perfect as a 6th man. But
he should start over Smart when Jalen comes back.
Should be shipped to fucking Siberia.
But I like Terrence Ross. He was drafted by Toronto. There was high hopes for him. He was a lottery pick out of Toronto and ended up in the Magic. But I think he's got 5 or 6 50-point games again, and that's the type of scoring you want. You've seen that spark on the bench. Think about the Celtics title run in 08. You had Eddie House coming up off the bench, Sam Cassell. PJ Brown went 4 for 4 in the fourth quarter, Game 7 against LeBron and the Cavaliers. Let's not forget who won that game for the Celtics was PJ Brown in the fourth quarter with 8 points. All right, so I mean that's the stuff you need that's the stuff you need on the bench. Terrence Ross makes my Langevin stand straight up.
Quickly though, I saw another 3-team trade. There's between the Timberwolves, 76ers, and Boston. Instead of sending Jaylen Brown, I'd put Marcus Smart in that situation. But basically, we get Karl Anthony Towns. You ship off Marcus Smart to Philadelphia. Ben Simmons goes to Minnesota. That's like the big names of the deals. You just throw in the pieces.
Isn't Anthony Edwards there, though? Isn't he a point guard?
No, he's a small
he's more
forward.
Of a shooting guard, small forward. Anthony Edwards is fucking awesome.
But don't they have a guard like that?
We need a big over here. I don't think
D'Angelo Russell, right?
I think Robert Williams isn't the guy. He is injury prone. He can't even stay healthy all year. He already has a bad knee already early in the season. He's not going to make the whole season. You need a big that can stay out there.
Here's what I'm tired of the.
Do you think Brown, Tatum, and Towns is a good 3?
No, they're pussies. Here's what you need. What you need. You need a set of fucking balls to slap Jason Tatum across the cheeks with them. That's it.
And
I don't care if it's a fucking big. I don't care if it's a point guard. I don't give a shit. Then you build the team around that. You don't have it.
You're
reliant.
You had Marcus Morris here.
Marcus Morris is not that guy. You need a Damian Lillard. You need a guy
that's better than Tatum.
Better.
Bradley Beal.
Balls.
Bradley Beal.
Bradley
Do you think?
Beal,
can I answer your question? Hold on. Do you think getting Bradley Beal on the Celtics makes Jason Tatum go from budding superstar to superstar because that's their
Yep. I will lean to that. I would trade Jaylen Brown for Bradley Beal at this point because I think Bradley Beal can bring Jason Tatum to another level and doesn't.
I've been saying it all along. Those two
Bradley
can't play
Beal
together.
with the ball in his hands is way better. Is better than Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown combined. So you want a closer? Bradley Beal is the guy. He led the fucking league in scoring. You just watch a couple of those Celtics Wizards games. Watch what Bradley Beal does with the ball, and you go, "Holy shit! How do you make that shot?" You never say that about Jason Tatum unless it's a step back fadeaway three that he's shooting 28% from right now.
Yeah,
Jaylen
you better
Brown
hope
is
they
more
start
of those than
losing.
Jason Tatum. But they're never
start losing. They are losing.
The Wizards, you fuck.
Oh, the Wizards, yeah.
Because Bradley Beal's going to be a pipe dream as much, but they start talking to the Olympics.
He forces the way out, which is not because they're winning.
Yeah, they started talking to the Olympics. I mean, that was the time. That's what we hoped, right? Jason Tatum start fucking recruiting. I always said Jason Tatum's going to get recruited. I thought that was my biggest fear, and it's coming to true now. I mean, it's either Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. You need to figure out who you're going to keep and who you're going to build around. And the buzz around the league is Jason Tatum. I don't think Jason Tatum's long for Boston. I wouldn't be surprised in the next year or two he starts forcing his way out. I really do. I just don't think he wants to be here. I think he's going to fucking. Don't be surprised if he wants to link up with one of his boys. He's getting into that LeBron circle, the Kyrie circle. Like that's, he's getting that fucking ego in his brain. And I at this point, I've always said trade Jaylen Brown, but your biggest return is going to be Jason Tatum. And so, I mean, at some point, if he's going to start forcing his way out, you might want to look to maybe move him sooner or later and just blow the whole fucking thing up.
Yeah, you can't
build it around Jaylen Brown.
You can't. You just have to hope that these guys get it and they stick around. That's all you have to hope. That's it. That's all you have. That's all you have. You can't trade Jaylen and Jason. You just have to hope these guys figure it out. They stay in Boston. All right. Before we get into our
these Amazon 4K cameras are fucking incredible.
Back to Basics is incredible as well. Go to backtobasicsllc.com. That's BAK, the number 2, basicsllc.com. Get yourself whatever you need. Shitty shoulder, shitty dog, good night's sleep. Get yourself whatever you're looking for. And Dr. Tom will send you a personalized email and help you figure out the best remedy for all of your ailments. If you're looking for a medical marijuana card, this is the guy to go to. Dr. Tom at backtobasicsllc.com. You get a free sample. Free with every purchase that you make. Go to backtobasicsllc.com. That's BAK, the number 2, basicsllc.com. Boys, we're going to end the show on the simplest mind of the week for a little bit of laughs. These simplest minds of the week that you guys send me are not that funny. They're like very dark and cruel. But this one
is the simplest mind.
Ray, you sent me this, and this is a simplest mind. And this could be a 30-year simplest mind based on the shit that he went through. And feel free to chime in because I didn't write a whole lot down here. But Scottie Pippen has been in the news this past week. He has a memoir or a book coming out, and he's called Michael Jordan. He said that Michael Jordan ruined basketball, and LeBron James is all that basketball is about, and he's the GOAT. And kind of went off on some other guys. Charles Barkley has clapped back at him. Couple NBA players have clapped back at him, but Scottie Pippen going in on Michael Jordan basically as a spite play after the docuseries on Netflix, or was it ESPN,
ESPN.
last year?
Both.
What this
Last
guy
Dance.
also doesn't he have some shit that with his wife? Wasn't there a problem?
Yeah,
with
his wife been fucking other young NBA players. One NBA player
Scottie
left
Pippen,
left
just
his
shut the
pregnant wife for him.
Fuck
Dude.
smoke show.
Raymond.
Oh, Priscilla? Is that her name?
The other thing too is I don't know if you guys saw it, but he was on Good Morning America talking to Michael Strahan and basically says, everyone talks about the flu game, but no one talks about how I slipped my disc and I still went out there and battled every night. And it's like this guy. I didn't know CTE was big in basketball until I heard Scottie Pippen talk about how Michael Jordan's not the GOAT.
He also sat out half a season because of that back surgery and got surgery right before the season started. Sat out half
because of a contract.
Because of a contract in '97, I believe, Jordan's last title. So let's be real, Pippen. You're the one that signed that stupid deal. What was it? 7 years for $15 million, I believe, was his first big contract. And fuck him. Fuck Scottie Pippen. He's just trying to stay relevant. He's trying to keep his name up there while his wife's fucking making other married NBA players leave him for her.
He's trying to get wrote a book on the heels of what the fuck was the documentary called?
Last Dance.
Last Dance, you dummy.
Sorry. Right. He's trying to get paid on the heels of the Last Dance. There's a bunch of articles now that comes out. There's a tweet that has Michael Jordan winning an MVP in '97 and handing it to Scottie and calling Scottie.
Make it quick. MVP. Let's go.
And Scottie Pippen needs to just shut the fuck up. Like, you're just not doing yourself any favors, dude. He's never gonna win. He's never gonna win this. You're never gonna turn people.
He's making himself look like an asshole.
Yeah, like you're going against Michael, dude. Like, no one fucking.
You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win.
Not to mention your career without Michael sucks.
Yeah, how do you do it in Houston? Terrible.
With three other Hall of Famers. What was it? Clyde,
average 13.
Chuck, and Hakeem. Yeah. And then he went to Portland.
Henry Ruggs continues to be an asshole, or his lawyers continue to be an asshole.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, Henry Ruggs' lawyers is trying to get the firefighters text messages because his lawyer claimed that the reason the woman and her dog died was because they waited 20 minutes to extinguish the fire. So what a scumbag fucking move.
Not even Staples mine, just a fucking prick. And then this is mine that I gave you. Staples Center is being renamed to the Crypto.com Arena. Just
largest licensing deal in the history of sports.
$700 million over 25 years, I think. Staples signed a lifetime agreement that got bought out, so no agreement is good ever.
Just crypto will go bankrupt. Watch it. It'd be something weird.
Fucking the Staples Center. Even if it's Staples, which is a dumb company to be named after, it's become iconic. It's been around since '99. The Staples Center. Yeah. It's in LA. The Staples Center.
That's where you know where the Lakers.
That's the Crypto.com Arena. Fuck you. You add syllables and you change the name. Fuck off. I'm not doing that. It's the Staples Center.
Kobe's old lady Vanessa said it. Kobe and the Staples Center. It will always be the Staples Center. Oh,
this is
the third time the charm. I couldn't spit it out.
Headlines, November 19th. We'll see you on Sunday for early lines.
Maybe.
Can we rush through it in 15 minutes?
Has already started digging a hole. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I couldn't spit it out. That's what Ray's mom says every Wednesday.
Damn it! That's where I was going to go. Okay, damn it. I was going with that. Son of a bitch.
I didn't have time to change. I just got home. Thank God you moved to 7. I would have not made 6.
Well, it's your life, baby. We just do what we want to do.
I foresaw
fuck that. You, Richard moved it.
I foresaw that coming. I am the producer of the Simple Minds Sports Show, executive producer.
You were knighted.
Oh, that's true. I was knighted by a dick on my shoulders. Bill, you wear that? That's your work attire?
This is what I wear. Yeah.
Get away with the ink on the arm at work?
Fuck yeah, dude. Plenty of people are tatted up there. Yeah, I just wear. I bought some
Massachusetts. You wouldn't get away with that down in the likes of Mississippi, where they let the Brett Favres of the world get away with welfare fraud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a tool. But no, I mean, I just got fucking just normal pants on. I just don't wear jeans.
Prove it. You're not wearing pants. Nice dick. Call that a dick?
I like the thrusts.
Your mother does every other night.
Layup line. Damn it.
Layup line. Raymond, how are you?
Richard? I am great.
Something a lot more interesting there. Yeah, that's nice. Small batch, 11%. Wow. Everyone's feeling good. Not as good as me. No.
Oh, what a cunt.
We'll have to blur that out because none of these are ours. Well, one of them's our sponsor.
Mine is.
But, I live 500 miles away.
That fireball in high noon that Bill's popping right now is definitely not.
Ooh, okay. Well, why don't we go ahead?
It's not fireball, you fucks.
We got an hour and a half.
Clear, you dick.
For game time.
I thought it was gone. Sorry.
I'm
just sipping on it. I'm on fucking vacation.